I want to do a tribute to Jerry Herman, the great composer, lyricist, and songwriter. I got to work with him starting out with Hello, Dolly, and those things. When I was in music school back in Chicago, studying composition and advanced conducting. I used to play the Schubert Theater and the shows that came in there, and all those shows had banjos, and you'd play banjo and guitar back in those days. I used to play six-string guitar too. And so I went down and played Hello, Dolly. David Merrick was the producer. His office had it there, and I met up with the other people that did a lot of that touring of those different shows. The drummer, Don Knapp. Roy Knapp was his father, and Roy was the big drum teacher in Chicago. And it was Don Knapp, and there was Zimmerman. Was a fellow by the name of Zimmerman, played the trumpet. And there was the conductor and the assistant conductor with the piano player. I met them all at the time. And so then like I say, I played Hello, Dolly. And then I went out and played some of the places, Fort Wayne and other places around, and that was with the Betty Grable Company. And so let me play a little of it for the moment. Let's see if I can get it. I played Hello, Dolly that show, and then I ended up in California another time, and while I was out there, I was going to head back to Chicago. Merrick's office called again and asked if I would go up and play the Ginger Rogers version of Hello, Dolly in Fresno, and then over in San Francisco at the Curran Theater on Geary Street. So I said, well, I think I can work that out, because I was headed back towards Chicago. So I went up there, and it was the same guys on that show too. And so we had an old-time meeting, and they called into New York to the Merrick office, because they were going to go out on the road then after that with Mame, the National Company of Mame. So they called in to see what was going on, and meanwhile they spoke up and said, oh, Eddy's back on the band here, whatever. And so then I got a call from Merrick's office wanting to know if I'd come back into New York here and read down at the Winter Garden Theater, which is a block and a half down the street from me. Behind me is Carnegie Hall. Down the block and a half that way is the Winter Garden Theater, the stage door and all. And this area was always just hot in the old days for everything going on. It's changed a lot, whatever, as everything has. But anyway, so I said, sure, I wouldn't see why I wouldn't. So just one note I wanted to make at the time I was thinking about that. Ginger Rogers was such a fine dancer and all that, that when she got going in the show, she'd move it, really move, and it would end up like 45 minutes shorter, because she would do it so quick, everything so quickly. 45 minutes shorter than everybody else during the Hello, Dolly show. And the cast, they were real happy with that. She got their show short at that point. But anyway, we got back here to New York, and I went down the street and I read Mame, the wonderful show Mame. And Jerry Herman at that time. pardon me, Don. What was Don's, his musical director's name? Anyway, I met up with him, and they were terrific people, just terrific. Everything was wonderful, so I played the show there. Excuse me. And then I got an airplane, flew down to Baltimore. We met up with all the guys and all that, and we rehearsed everything. And during the rehearsals and all that, we got ourselves together, and there was another fellow that joined us there on it, the first reed player. He played all the reeds and all that. And Vollmer. He was just a wonderful player, just a great singer. He was sight-read everything. Pete Vollmer's. Anyway, so we took off and did that show, and I got to do all those beautiful tunes in it. And then, like I said, met Herman and all that kind of stuff, whatever. And I came back into New York, and he had another show called Deer World, which I mentioned has that diminished chord in it, like Working with the Sunrise. And that was right around the corner here, the big theater there. And then after that closed up, he opened up Mac and Mabel a little farther downtown. I went to see that, and had a great time, and just gorgeous songs. So I bought the book and started playing some of the songs from it. One of the absolute greatest songs of all time is that I won't send roses or hold the door. I won't remember which dress you wore. My heart is too much in control. The lack of romance in my soul will turn you gray, kid. So stay away, kid. Forget my shoulder when you're in need. Forgetting birthdays is guaranteed. And should I love you, you would be the last to know. I won't send roses, and roses suit you so. My pace is frantic, my temper's cross, and things are romantic. I'm at a loss. I'd be the first one to agree that I'm preoccupied with me, and it's inbred, kid. So stay away, kid. Forget my shoulder when you're in need. Forgetting birthdays is guaranteed. And should I love you, you would be the last to know. I won't send roses, and roses suit you so. I won't send roses. beautiful, gorgeous songs of all time. Here is the other ballad from the show. I'm going to go with the key of F here on this one. Time heals everything, Tuesday, Thursday. Time heals everything, April, August. If I'm patient, the break will mend. And one fine morning, the hurt will end. So let the moments fly, autumn, winter. I'll forget you by next year, some year. Though it's hell that I'm going through, some Tuesday, Thursday, April, August, autumn, winter, next year, some year. Time heals everything. Time heals everything but loving you. Jerry Herman. My tribute to him, he's my favorite of all, of every composer, and I like my own stuff, but he is just unbelievable. He was unbelievable. He passed away a few weeks ago, and kind of got to me, but you know, I'll be following him soon. What the hell.